Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. Today we're going to be doing some rainbow ink blending as well as a gold blackout technique. So first up, I have a piece of cardstock. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I am going to start by masking off a 1/2 inch off each of the sides and also the top and the bottom as well. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and do my rainbow ink blending. I'm going to start off with the very pretty Coral Bliss. Then I have moved into the Snapdragon. Then I've gone on to the Sunray. This one here, the green one, is the Firefly, a little bit of the Volcano Lake, and then to finish off, I'm going with Wisteria. I'm then going to go over the colours again, and this is going to give me a really greater blend than before, so it's going to be a little bit more seamless than just the first time around. I always find that it's really good to go over the colours 2 times to give you that great, really great blended look, so everything's really seamless and lovely and buttery that way. So once that has all been blended and I'm happy with the colours that we have there, I'm just going to clean off the masking tape from around the edge. I'm then going to take the Tea Time stamp set, and I'm going to be using this really cute like little flower branch that we have here. And I'm going to be stamping this onto the panel that we have, and I am going to be using some of the antique gold ink from Altenew. Now I am going to stamp this all over this little panel that we have here. It's kind of like a jigsaw, so I'm going to stamp one, then I'm going to take the next one, stamp it next to it, kind of move these images around so they look a little bit different, but this is going to kind of cover that whole of the panel that we have there, and I do love this technique. It's one of my favorites to do. I do like jigsaws, so maybe that's why I do like kind of creating this background where everything kind of interlocks into each other, and it just looks really, really pretty. So I'm just going to keep going until everything is all covered. I did have a little bit of space left over, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. If you wanted to, you could add a little tiny leaf in there, but I'm quite happy with how it looks there. Once that's done, I'm going to wait till that's dried a little, and then I'm going to add some anti-static powder over the top. I'm then going to take the Tea Time Simple Colouring Stencil, and I'm going to take the one that has the branch on. So first up, I am going to add some embossing ink through each of the like little leaf sections. And once the embossing ink is on there, I'm then going to heat set that using some crystal clear embossing powder. So I'm going to do that for all of the leaf layers on this little panel that we have here. So I'm lining that up with the image, putting some embossing ink through the stencil, and then heat setting all of that with the crystal clear. So that's a clear embossing powder from Altenew. So I'm just going to keep going till all of the little branches are done. Once I'm happy with that and all the branches are done, I'm then going to add another layer of those colours that we used before. So that's the Coral Bliss, the Snapdragon, the Sunray, and then the green one is the Firefly, a little bit of the Volcano Lake, and then some of the Wisteria. So this is going to give us a darker shade on top of the one that we've just done. So the one that we have done with the ink embossing will resist that colour, so that will be slightly lighter than the next layer. So I'm then going to wait until that's dry again, add a little bit of the anti-static powder, and this time around we're going to do the flowers. So I'm using the same stencil as before, same technique. I'm just going to line up the stencils through the stencil. I'm then going to take some of the embossing ink from Altenew on a little foam dauber there, push that through the stencil, and then I am then going to heat set that using the crystal clear embossing powder. So as before, I'm just going to do a couple. I'm then going to kind of heat set those and then do a couple more until all of the flowers on this layer have all been heat embossed and are very, very pretty. So once that's done, and just look how pretty that is there, I'm then going to take some of the antique gold. So this is the one that we used to stamp the little branches to start with. And I'm just going to go over that whole panel using this ink. So once it's all been inked up, I'm then going to remove some of that ink just from the top of the embossed image. So you can see just buffing that away with a little bit of tissue is really going to make those colours shine through the embossing, and I just love how pretty this looks. Now, once we've done all of that inking and embossing, I'm then going to take off the little masking tape that we have around the edge, and this is just magical to me. Just look how beautifully bold that center is, and then we have that great white edge around the outside. So once that's done, I'm then going to take the panel and I'm going to add this onto the front of an A2 card base. So that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just using some of the glue tape from Altenew just to pop that into place. Once that's done, I can move that to the side and then move on to my sentiment. For the sentiment, I'm using one of the stamps from the Hello Friend stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp that onto a piece of white cardstock using some of the obsidian ink. I'm then going to take the coordinating die for the sentiment and pop that into place around the stamped image. I can then run that through my die cutting machine. I'm then going to kind of fill in some of the spaces that didn't stamp particularly correctly, and I'm just using a little black fine liner pen for that. I'm then going to figure out where I want this sentiment to go, and I think it looks really cool kind of hanging over the side of that panel that we have there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of foam tape just to the back of that and then pop that into place. To add a little bit more of the black and kind of pull that in a little bit more, I'm just going to use some of the jet black enamel dots, and I'm just going to add a couple of these around that sentiment. I am using 5 to kind of add the odd number there. And here is the card complete. I really do hope that you like the card and that you've enjoyed the video as well. If you do create a card that was inspired by this, it'd be great if you do share because I'd love to see. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.
Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques, and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.